One day I was working this job, and I kept bumping heads with my boss. There was something about submitting to the authority of her I just couldn't submit to. In fact, in this particular season, I was struggling with submission all around. I didn't want to submit to nobody's wisdom. I didn't want to hear what the pastor had to say. I even wasn't trying to hear what God had to say, because I was stuck in my mind saying, God, I'm not going to move until you answer my question. And he was like, fine, seeing as how time is not a concept to me, but it is to you, I'm going to let you sit in it. I'm going to do like I told you over there at Romans, turn you over to your reprobate mind. The Lord knew what he put in me. He knew I was a person that thirsts after progress. Like I got to see that my seeds that I'm sowing will produce fruit eventually at some point in time. But because of my stubbornness, the Lord was willing to let everything in my life wither up and die. Guess what? God ain't got no problem in allowing things in your life to wither up and die, especially if he's bringing a new thing into your life. The foundation and the character of a person is more important than the fruit that they produce. It wasn't until I got a moment aside with my boss, I humbly submitted myself to her. Regardless of everything that I was thinking about the atmosphere and the oppression and how wrong things were, the whole point was, could you submit? Submit even though it's wrong, because God put those people in that authoritative position for that season. We know God causes all the things to work together for the good of those that love him, who are called according to his plan and purpose. You can't submit to authority when God calls you to do so. How can he lead you to a leadership position if you don't have any experience in submitting and you're trying to coach other people to do it? Hello. So that Monday came around and I pulled her to a side. I said, Miss Such and Such, look, I've been going through a season of rebellion. Rebellious disobedience has leaked over into the things that I actually care about and I'm trying to uphold. I have disrespected you, and my greatest apologies to that. I understand that you're in this authoritative position, and my God has told me to submit to your will, which is what I'm obedient to do. Please forgive me for what I've done and how I've disrespected you. If I didn't have grace over my life at that time, I wasn't going to have grace over my life at all with this lady, and the lesson was learned, and I was going to be bound to repeat this cycle again. Because you see, this was not the first time that God was trying to teach me how to submit to authority. All them other jobs prior to this moment, he was trying to make me do the same thing. I just wasn't paying attention to the lesson. Rebelliousness to authority was a trauma response, because I trusted the authority before and they betrayed me, backstabbed me, or discarded me, whatever the case may be. I conditioned myself to expect that. I took my spiritual wounds and I surrendered it at the feet of Jesus. Me submitting myself to the authority of my boss is a representation of me submitting myself to the Lord. It goes back to that scripture where he was just like, did you feed me when I was hungry? Did you clothe me when I was naked? Did you put shelter over my head when I was homeless? Authority ain't got to be the same religious beliefs as you, the same gender as you, agree or support your sexual preferences. The test is, can you submit yourself to authority? God has called you to be a leader. How can he expect you to lead his people if you ain't gonna listen to him? Be blessed.